Aloha everybody, welcome back to another GoGo Rentals Discover. Today we're going to be taking you over to the west side of the island, over to Makaha Beach. Alright, so Makaha Beach is tucked back pretty deep along Oahu's west coast. And the west side is special because if you're coming from Waikiki, there's only one road in and one road out. Essentially what that means is it's about as isolated as you can get from major tourist centers like Waikiki. And the side effect to that is it's super local, like small town country local. And there's no nice way to say this, but if you're on the west side, it's probably the most likely area of the island where you could run into hostilities simply for just looking like a tourist or being a tourist. So I wouldn't go as far as to say it's unsafe, but a little bit of respect and a good attitude will get you a long way. Okay, so Makaha Beach is the premier surfing beach on Oahu's west side. Today it's super flat, but on most days there's gonna be a pretty decent surf break and there's gonna be at least a few people out in the water catching some waves. But there are days when the swells will come in super big and all the pros are gonna be out there. Every now and then they'll host surfing competitions out there, and those can be really awesome to watch if you catch them on the right day. Makaha Beach is probably not gonna be the place where you wanna go to teach yourself how to surf. There is a pecking order out there, and if you're not familiar with surf culture, especially like Hawaii surf culture, there's a good chance you're gonna get yourself into trouble if you just run out there not knowing anything about what's going on. So other than surfing, the beach there is world class, and so is the snorkeling and the freediving and the scuba diving. If you're snorkeling out there, all the good snorkeling is gonna be where you see the dive boats moored up on the backside of the surf break. When you're on the shoreline, it looks like a really long way from shore. And that's because it is. If it looks too far for you to get out there, then it probably is too far for you to get out there, and you probably want to go snorkel somewhere else where you can be closer to the shoreline. And I know some of you guys are going to be hardcore free divers and scuba divers, and if that's you, then it's a pretty easy swim out there and a decent swim back. It feels way longer than it is, and it kind of feels like it takes forever, but it's not like exhausting or anything like that. You will want to watch out for the currents because sometimes they rip super hard and they definitely will slow you down. If you do make it out there, that section of reef on the north half of the beach has all kinds of like underwater caves and hangovers, things like that. And there's also a sizable sea turtle population out there. So if you're out there swimming around in the water, there's a really high chance you're going to run into a turtle at some point. Just remember, it's illegal to touch them. So definitely don't do that. You want to keep your distance like at least one arm's distance. Otherwise you can get into trouble for that too. One more thing, if you are snorkeling, free diving, scuba diving, any significant distance away from a shoreline, you're legally required in the state of Hawaii to fly a dive flag like this one. Normally you're gonna see that attached to some sort of a buoy like this one, but the big thing to keep in mind is that something like this is going to reduce your chances of getting run over by boat, and that's really the reason why you're required to have one. Now in a lot of places this rule just is not enforced, so like places like Waikiki, Hanama Bay, the pipes over at Kahi Point, a lot of those places you're still required to have something like this, but typically in those areas there's zero boat traffic because of how crowded those areas are. But if you're going to be going out farther than where you see other people, or if you're in a place where you definitely see boat traffic like Makaha, out at Makaha Beach, those places especially, you're gonna want to have something like this. Other than that, all of my Gen Pop people are probably gonna have the best time if you guys just hang out on the beach, play in the shore break, poke around in the water. Kind of towards the middle of the beach, roughly, is probably where you're gonna stay. That way you're out of the surf break, but still on the beach. Parking is pretty decent for a beach in Hawaii. There's a lot of off the street parking, so try not to create any traffic jams going for one of those spots. My favorite place to park is in the parking lot by the toilets and the beach showers across the street. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.